Hey folks, this is Bobo the Vulture, and this is Let's Play Gran Turismo. It's been a little while, but I need a little time away. For one, my recording setup is not working, and for two, these last couple races have been doozies. Although I finally just brought out the big guns and used my Impreza to stomp over the previous enduro. So for this one, I think I'm also going to bring the big guns out and get my favorite ridiculously overpowered car out here. Nice and set. Well, the racing model we have is blue. Maybe I should make this one red. Sure. I think I like the green better, but I already have a green one, so now I have a red one and a green one. It's like Christmas. It's December time. Ho, ho, ho. So here's what we're going to do right now. Oh, wait. Wait a second. I bought a Mitsubishi GTO, right? And it already has racing muffler. I bought this. It already has... It's counting the parts I already have for my racing version. So... I guess in that case, does that mean all I need to do for this one is get a pair of hard racing tires? I won't fit those parts right now, but do I already have a pair of racing super softs? I do. So I think all I actually need to do here is do weight reduction. Oh, well, this is actually really handy. And a great value. It can do all the labor for me. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to do this. So all I need to do is do all the weight reduction. Because all of the other parts are I already own. Although, wait, some of the stuff that has to be done specifically to the engine of this Mitsubishi, as opposed to parts you can equip. Like port polishing. You can't do... that's not a part that you can move from one car to another unless you're moving the entire engine. This is a procedure you have done to the engine. But like the computer chip, that's already purchased because that's a computer chip. You can pull it out or put it in. Engine balancing, the same thing. I never knew that this game did that before. So like the racing gearbox. Already purchased because I already own one. Even though I would not want to be trying to move all of these parts in and out from one car to another a whole bunch. That actually simplifies my life significantly. Wow! Even if you guys are disappointed that I'm using almost the exact same car for this race as I used for the Mega Speed tournament, I'm really pleased about this because I've had this game 15 years, and I never realized that you only have to buy parts. If you have two versions of the exact same car, like two copies of the exact same car, you only have to buy parts for one of them. Nice! Midsummer Night Festival, held on SS Route 11, a specially built urban circuit. Well, this saves me money, which I don't actually need at this point, unless I'm planning on bribing other drivers to slow down and get out of my way. But really, I'm hoping to be able to go so fast that Mother Nature will be like, slow down, and I'll be all like, fuck you, and I'll kick her with my energy legs! Alright, let's go to car settings. Settings, wait. Let's go to parts. Tires? No way. Super soft racing tires, please. Brake types. Racing brakes. Brake controller. Super brake controller. Racing suspension. I don't have stabilizers. Computer. Crazy computer ROM. Turbine type. Let's see. This is normal. Not bad. Spec 4. Boring. NA tuning. Not possible. Wait, am I missing some other parts here? No, I'm not. Racing gearbox. Flywheel. Racing flywheel. Clutch. Triple clutch. Drive shaft. Carbon drive shaft. Muffler. Racing muffler. Intercooler. Racing intercooler. Now we are up to 818. I'm still missing parts somewhere. Right, brake, suspension, rear stabilizer, computer, turbine type, dynamic tuning. So do you still need to get a... No, I got the muffler, air filter. The intercooler. I'm missing something, but if I have 800 horsepower, some odd, and I can't manage this, then... Well, first of all, let's do a test run with an automatic. If I have all that stuff and I still can't handle this, well, it's not because I don't have enough horsepower, although I will be 100 horsepower short of what I could. I'll still be probably a couple hundred horsepower over. Well, at least 100 other horsepower over whatever anybody else would be able to do. So I can't really blame my failings in that situation on the car. Alright, so far the car can be handled. It is so powerful, it is making my analog stick go all twitchy. Thought that might happen. I'm slightly concerned about that, but overall, I know I'm hitting walls a lot, but the car isn't that undrivable. Basically, at this point, I'm looking for a car that will be able to win with me driving it in the sloppiest manner possible, because I'm a little tired. Also, I'm just not good at the NA hard-tuned car racing tournament-y thingies. I'm much better with special racing edition cars or just normally old sort of cars. Alright, let's go ahead and start qualifying. I was thinking about dialing down the gearing a little bit, but I was getting pretty near redline in 6th gear coming off of that long straightaway. So it's probably about where it needs to be. Although clearly there were some places where I was bogging around in 3rd gear. I don't think it's actually that big an issue. It probably would be that big an issue if I were a person who really wanted to make the most out of this car and make it the bestest ever. But I am a person who wants to just win this endurance race. Wow, I just drifted the whole way through that turn. Awesome. long as I can keep this car pointed forward, it'll probably be doing okay. Tell that's going to be touch and go every lap, isn't it? Each one of the, what, 60 laps that are going to be in this race. That wasn't a bad way through there, was it? I mean, considering how poorly I could have gone through there. If I don't hit a wall, I consider it a brilliant drive through a corner in this car anyways. So, how did I qualify? I qualified the best. Clearly I have some competition here. Super cool RX-7 and a GTR that I'm kind of surprised didn't place as high as that Lancer. Nothing against Lancers. They're really cool cars that punch above their own weight, but they have to punch above their own weight, which means that there's a weight class above them. You know what I'm saying? Do you get where I'm coming from here? Supermax, okay, well. Can't actually adjust the downforce because it's just what comes with the car. Change the parts. Let us change the tires to racing hard tires. Racing brakes, brake controller, racing suspension, tune ROM, spec 4, racing triple thingy carbon, racing triple thingy carbon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Alright, folks, I'm going to start this endurance race, and you're going to like it. Hopefully I'm going to like it. Hopefully I'm going to survive. That's going to be the real key here, folks. We got a long trip ahead of us. Oh, it's only 30 laps, which means... well, for one, I'm going to smoke tires all the way up to third gear. Okay. Just have to slowly but surely build up an unassailable lead here. Right now I can still hear cars behind me, which means I haven't built up an unassailable lead yet. It'll come with the fullness of time. That or my name isn't About to Lose Jones. My name isn't really About to Lose Jones, folks. It's Bobo the Vulture. It's not really Bobo the Vulture either, folks. You guys can't trust me. I wouldn't trust somebody I'd only ever heard of on the internet myself. How were you guys? Now, this is the tight handling section, where this car may not be the best. But it's opening up into the long straightaway section, which is where this car will clearly be the best. You might not want to mess with it. It's the best. Jeez, what kind of motor does that other RX-7 or whatever it is have there? So I'm managing to lead in an incredibly sloppy fashion with this car. Is this gonna last? Will we make it, after all? That turned out to be an unusual yet oddly workable way through that turn. And yes, I think that'll be the real suspense of this LP, or this video, folks. What new and interesting ways I can have to make my way through that chicane without actually hitting a wall and spinning out. They'll all still probably involve hitting a wall. It's a matter of whether it also involves spinning out. We're hoping it doesn't. We, meaning me and hopefully you, my loyal fans. Because hopefully you are my loyal fans. I don't know. You may be watching this video to pick at stuff that I'm doing and like, Bobo, you know, it's not the best strategy. You know the best strategy for this game is? Drive faster than everybody else. Achieve victory. And that wasn't the best means to achieve victory. I have to admit, the level 4 turbo does make for an interesting driving experience. It means that in areas where you are fairly down low in the rev range, the engine is pretty much just sitting, waiting. And it's interesting, you don't get any acceleration there, but you can actually drive the car at that level. Which is something that can't necessarily be said for, like, you know, from about 5,500 RPM on up. Folks, I'm coming back to this game again with having done zero practice since the last time that I played it, so my gameplay seems a bit crude. That is why. It's possible, however unlikely, that my gameplay might even refine as I go through the course of this game, or the course of this race. I can't even tell for sure how I'm doing compared to the second place guy. I know there's some daylight between me and him. I have a really good opportunity to check the map here, though. You may have noticed here that anytime I hit the gas pedal real loud and proud and get up into the upper range of this car, it pretty much just wants to go in a straight line. Now that is what we call understeer, folks. I can be pressing the little control all the way to the left, and the car pretty much just still wants to straighten up. Alright, how'd that affect me? Still ahead. Still haven't been overtaken by grief about being a terrible driver. Yep. Okay. So, thanks, other GTO that I made and put lots of super cool parts on. Oh, that wasn't the best run through that little switch there, but it's okay. This isn't the most insightful commentary I've ever done either. That's what I'm saying, folks, with this car too, especially. I'm having to concentrate a lot more than I did with the Impreza Rally Edition, which is a car where I could just point it wherever I wanted it to go and it would go. This car, it is a lot more manageable than, say, the 941 horsepower Nissan GTR I was trying to drive in whatever that was, the GT Gold Cup or something, I don't remember. That hard tune championship I was trying to win. It's better managed than that. It's better to, you know, it's easier to handle than that. Still by no means easy to handle this car. It could be done if you're not trying to concentrate on something else. When I think of it, yeah, like I have a very specific memory of being younger and like I would be like doing something or another with Mysterious JG, and like in the background I would just be playing, like one of the other of us might be playing a game, but we'd be having some other variety of like discussion or like creative thing we'd be working on, and sometimes one of the other of us would be playing a game. It might be like a fighting game or something like that, or like, okay, like, you know, after you've done this a couple of times, you sort of get into a zone with fighting games where you're not thinking about it. Well, I mean, I guess depending on the difficulty level. But I remember playing the other endurance race, the other R11 Enduro, the one that you can use a special edition racing car for. I remember doing that one with the Impreza and having no trouble keeping up with what was going on in this other, you know, like the other thing that we were doing. This, I don't think I would be able to do that with this car and in this race. The track going backwards. Cursed backwards track. Race seems to be going relatively well, I have to admit. At least for right now. I don't have like a huge lead, but I have something. I don't know whether or not everybody else has stopped for tires yet. I imagine I will stop for tires at lap 10 and again at lap 20, and hope that that is a good distribution. I don't want to overshoot my tire window, because this car is already teetering on the edge of being just horrendously undrivable, as you may have noticed from the fact that I'm using walls and stuff all the time. Ordinarily I try and drive cleanly and be like, good form, yes, this is the proper racing line to take, and all these sorts of things, yes, very. Now with this race, now with this car, we'll admit it's very tempting when you get at a race like this, one where all the walls are right against the track. Races like the Grand Valley 300, where you go off the track, there's going to be grass and stuff. That admittedly does make a big difference. Because trying to go through the grass or the sand trap or whatever, yes, they do have sand traps in races, folks. You're never supposed to go into the sand traps, same as golf. Because if you get your car stuck in the sand, there's a good chance you won't be able to get it out. It's not that you take a drop penalty, that your car becomes beached because you drove off of the track and there is a big pit of sand there to slow you down before you hit some other object, like the walls or a grandstand or something else like that. They have barriers in between grandstands and people now. Maybe I should have just pitted early there. Huh. Whoopsie. There was actually an incident, speaking of cars, grandstands, that sort of thing. It was in, I guess it was 1955, actually. It was the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And, it was, an incident that will go down in, or it's an incident that has gone down in infamy now. And taken with it the name of Pierre Levet, I believe was the man's name, yes. He was a French driver. He was racing in a Mercedes. He was racing in a Mercedes 300. It was the super cool racing car of Mercedes at the time. And this was the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and this was before they had standards like you needed to have Armco barriers and stuff like that. Like, you know, those like, well, you see them on the sides there. They're like the little steel walls. Now, of course, that wouldn't stop a car going at full tilt or anything else like that, but it would bend, it would deform, it would absorb some of the energy of the car as it traveled along. At Le Mans, at that point in time, they had hay bales against the sides of the track. This was their safety measures. But Levet, and there was some confusion. Of course, also the pits at Le Mans, the pit exit and entrance was not as clearly defined as it is now. There was a car that was driving along on the track and then veered over suddenly because it was going to get on the pits. Levet's car, and it ended up making contact with Levet's car. Levet's car ended up flipping, cartwheeling into the stands. Part of the problem with this was car ended up catching on fire. This was they were still experimenting with fairly exotic materials at the time. I believe magnesium was one of the articles in the car. One of the fairly highly combustible metals was being used, and threw shards of very highly combustible, very hot metal into the stands as well. I believe something like 80 people were killed. And it was, I believe in terms of loss of life, it was one of the, that was about the most horrific thing to have ever happened in the realm of motor racing, and Mercedes-Benz pulled out of sports car racing for like 30 or 40 years after that. They pulled out of, endurance racing. Did not go back to Le Mans until like the 90s. That was down to first gear. Now you can already see up there my front tire is getting toasty. So maybe I should just pit in. I will probably go down to second place here. I'll probably get passed by that RX-7. I'm changing my tires, though. Yep, I've been passed. Nuts. Alright. Ready? Go! Alright, gotta catch up with this dude. I got fresh tires, is that gonna help? Am I gonna be able to track this dude down? Am I gonna be able to find out whether or not the dude is the guy that I was thinking was running in second place? Is it the RX-7 Infini or whatever it was? Yes, I'm losing much time there, every lap. It's okay though. Now, am I going to be able to catch him? Pass him on the straightaway? Is he already past the straightaway? Am I losing big time? Seems like that guy's gaining time on me, if anything. I don't think he was close enough before that I was actually holding him up. So I don't think I was driving it. I mean, I was driving erratically enough that yes, if there was a car behind me, they might have had a hard time passing me. But I don't think that's actually what was happening with that guy. There, that was a heroic way through there. Surely that'll gain me a little more time. Oh. I'm not playing all the way through this for second place. Especially since if I can't win first place with this car, I honestly don't know how I'm going to win this race. This enduro? Forget it. And this was my ultimate secret technique. Like the Sekihaten Kyoken or something. Alright, that lap I ran a little cleaner, I guess? Oh no, he pitted. Alright. Whatever lets you sleep at night. Man, all of a sudden now that I know that I've passed him because he pitted, I'm driving sloppier when actually I need to drive better. This means that I don't have the outright pace to pass him. It means I have the outright pace in theory to be ahead overall in terms of pit strategy. That might all come for naught depending on timing later in the race. Ooh. This is serious business. One of the things I find really annoying about this course is the map is friggin' bizarre looking down there in the corner. It's kind of hard to tell who's immediately around you because the course sort of loops on itself a bunch. And whenever I try and concentrate on that, I end up losing control of the car. Pro tip, losing control of your car is generally not good for your times. Oh boy. Well, okay, now I can relax a little. It looks like he's a ways behind with pit cycling all done. And that was a surprisingly... Granted, it was dangerous and deadly and would have gotten me killed if it actually done it that way in a real car. But in Gran Turismo terms, old school Gran Turismo terms, gave me a lot of time. In Gran Turismo 5, you can actually get, I know it's true on online play. Maybe true in I'm pretty sure it's true in just the regular old play as well. You can be given a black flag. The game AI will deem you at fault for some piece of bad driving, whether it's hitting another car, trying to cut the course, smacking a wall, something like that. And it will essentially slow down your car for like 5 seconds or something like that. So driving like this would not work in Gran Turismo 5, I don't believe, unless you can go into the settings and turn that off. Like, I'm sure you wouldn't even be able to do that on online play, but we're not talking about online play here. Besides, online play, I believe I've already spent some endurance race or another driving around on this course, friggin' special stage, R11, talking about, the experience of online play. Not a fan, call me old-fashioned, but I mean, it depends on the online play. If you're like getting together with some people playing a co-op game, if you're getting together with people you know playing a co-op game or something, or even a versus game, it's people you know. I just don't like the whole like, I'm gonna like race against like 7 strangers from, you know, this region of the world or wherever there are people awake right now. And I'm gonna race against Juggalo87 from Argentina and, you know, OMG Kawaii from, I don't know, Belgium? Wherever. I have nothing against Argentina or Belgium as nations. I'd actually like to visit, well, Belgium in particular. Again, nothing against Argentina, but the Spa-Francorchamps circuit is in Belgium. It's one of the greatest racing circuits of all time. All time. People go nutso about the Nürburgring. And I mean, if you are talking about, like, just in terms of, like, length and number of corners and stuff like that, yeah, I guess the Nürburgring is the number 1. Of course, the old Spa circuit used to be significantly longer than it is now, and it's still one of the longer circuits in Formula 1, at least when Formula 1 people just go there. One of the longer racing circuits in common use these days. Again, the Nürburgring kind of an exception in that regard. Okay, those people are not on the same straightaway as me. That's good. So yeah, how have you folks been doing? I hope you're doing well. I've been doing alright. It's the month of December as I record this. Who knows when you actually are watching it. Man, the month of December gets pretty complicated. Pretty busy, I should say. I've got stuff going on at the theater where I help out and occasionally perform. I've got, just the general, like, hey, it's December, family members are going to want to come see you and do gift exchanges and stuff. I also work at a newspaper, which is a line of work where you don't actually get extra time off for Christmas. So there's that. Plus, Mysterious JG just got back from Afghanistan, as it was detailed in a long note that was basically split between him looking at his Xbox live screen and he played a match, possibly two. It was 2 matches in Rumble Rose's Double X. So that's what he does in announcement videos. He explained to me that the reason that he does that is because people ask him to play Rumble Rose's Double X all the time. The whole reason he played Rumble Roses to begin with is because it had story modes for all the characters, and story modes were ridiculous. Rumble Roses Double X doesn't have that feature. Basically just, fight this girl in this crazy type of match. Okay, now fight this girl in this type of crazy match. Alright, you've unlocked new dress spheres or something. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so he's back from Afghanistan, and he's back up in the neighborhood. Not like real close to where I am, but close enough that I can go see him on, like an evening or a weekend. Takes a while to hike out to where he is, but that means we're working on collaborative Let's Plays and stuff like that, like we do. Right now we are working on a Let's Play together of Dynasty Warrior 7, the Shoe Story mode. We've already done Wei and Wu. Lord knows, maybe it'll be another year or more before we end up playing the, before we end up playing the story of Jin, which is the hot new faction in the Dynasty Warriors universe. I guess Jin is the group that came into being out of the Sima or Suma or whatever you want to call it clan. Like Sima Yi, who is previously, up to then, in the Dynasty Warriors games anyway, has sort of just been like, hey, Shu's got this cool Zhuge Liang guy to be their strategist. Who is the super cool strategist for Wei then? Oh, it is Sima Yi. So yeah, but basically no. He and his kinfolk ended up going on to achieve great things in China. Uh-oh, Lapper. Sorry, I didn't mean to quite rock your world like that there, little Civic. How nimble you were getting through there. Alright, so I've gotten around a lapped car. And I hate to say it, I don't know why they put them in the hard-tuned races. Civics are great cars. Don't get me wrong. But they are not a car on par with the fastest cars in the world. Not even the fastest cars in the world as the world is viewed from this game. And yes, I'm sure that all of these cars would probably be a little bit out for luck if they went up against, their contemporary Ferrari. I mean, this one, obviously, it has ridiculous turbocharging put on it. But, in stock form, for example. What was the Ferrari of this point in time? Were they still racing or running F355s, or were they up to the F360? Of course, that's never been the top. I mean, those have never been the like top level Ferrari. There's always some super bigger Ferrari than those. Jeez, was this when the Ferrari F50 was around? I don't know. Don't know, folks. Can't remember. My memory. I don't remember. Oh, nicely done through there. That was a thing of beauty. Beautiful. Now, if I actually only have 818 horsepower here, I gotta figure out what procedure I did not perform on my car in order to get it all extra sprucified up. Not that it's gonna matter, because clearly my car is tough enough to manage to make this work. Yeah, unless like I start getting super tired and because of that my driving gets even sloppier than it is now, I think I got this. I was a little concerned there when I ceded first place for like longer than I thought after the first pit stops. I was hoping to be able to pass that guy on the track within a lap or two. And that didn't happen. I had to wait for him to pit in, which granted was only a couple of laps after that. But, and I mean, that honestly, you know, for those folks who don't get to watch a whole lot of racing, that sometimes is just the way these things do play out. It's more exciting from a strategic standpoint than it is from an actual, like, spectacle standpoint. Where, you know, the guy that you like is racing the other guy, and the other guy pits first, and then you have to, like, your thing is, like, you have to cheer him on to see whether or not your guy can build up enough of a lead while he's in first place that he can then pit and be ahead of the other guy when the other, you know, like, by the time he has to, you know, come in and pit in and out and stuff. Like, basically just that people are pitting at different times, and that is when they pass one another. They're not passing each other on the track, they're passing each other in the pits. Basically based on the sort of, like, speed at which they're independently driving on this race circuit. And that happens sometimes in racing, and a lot of times when that happens too often, people will be like, oh, we need to find out a way to spice up the show. We need to give fans more excitement. And there have been various methods that have been devised to do this over the years. One that is used more lately is we'll give everybody intentionally shitty tires. Not to say shitty tires, but we'll intentionally give people tires that don't last as long, so the tires will go off quickly, like mine are starting to do, you'll notice, especially those fronts. I'm gonna see if I can get another lap out of this now. Just so that I have slightly fresher tires on at the end, in case that turns out to be important. Darn it. I was looking at the map, trying to see where second place is. Of course, you can't tell who second place is on this map either. It's supremely annoying. Can't tell what's what down there. But no, intentionally giving people tires that wear out quickly, so that, like, if you happen to be a person that's good on driving on worn-out tires, then you might be able to do better. Or if you're a person that is better at taking care of tires so that they don't wear down quickly, you might have an advantage. Or you're a person that just drives really fast and uses up the tires quickly. You drive really fast, use up the tires quickly, and then you might need an extra stop for tires than the next guy. That could still be a viable strategy depending on how much quicker you can be on those tires. Yeah, the car pretty much doesn't want to turn anymore. I mean, you can see that that one front tire, the front right, is completely red. It's needing its toast, I guess. Well, this is what I should have feared the whole time. Yep. I think ordinarily my tires would have been gruff enough for me to be able to catch that and not just sort of start to spin helplessly. It was like a really slow, lazy spin too, wasn't it? Not good. You see, it takes the car longer to catch traction again after it loses it. You just hear it going squeaky, squeaky, squeaky a lot more. Oh man, I hope that isn't second place back there, but probably is. I probably desperately need this tire change. And now I'm going into autopilot. Can I get out in time? That's a terrible way to be going into the pits. Are you the second place runner? Will I get out ahead of you anyway? No. But you're right within my sights. And I bet you're going to have to stop for tires again. Alright, I got it. Now he's either going to run into me or get back around me again right here. And there he goes. There he goes again, racing past my car. That's alright. Looks like his tires are going a little bit there. Saw him smoking. And yes, the rare occasion I meet another car, apparently I'm gonna play super dirty. I'm riding dirty. Alright. If this guy stays on the track, it's time to just blow past him. Okay, I'm done with pit stops. This is it. This is the last push. The final stint. The final showdown with sin. Yeah, like down at 3,000 RPM, 4,000 RPM, really nothing happening with this engine. That's alright. The vast majority of the time when you're racing, driving this car around, that does not matter at all because you're in the upper end of this rev range. I would imagine driving around this car on a normal day be annoying as crap because you spend most of your time driving around under 4,000 RPM. especially in the wintertime, because when I'm in the wintertime, and anytime that I'm just starting up my car, the first few minutes I like to try and drive fairly smoothly, and not rev up the engine too much, because one of the things that you can do to a car that will hurt it a lot is, while the engine is still cold, fuel pump hasn't had very long to work, so system isn't fully lubricated yet, run your engine really hard then, and you can do some damage to it. So, like, the first couple minutes while I'm driving around my car, try and keep the revs low, like, you know, under 2,500 RPM. That sort of thing. Which, you know, a lot of cars are geared to be able to run that way. You wouldn't want to do that with this car in its current configuration, because it would be difficult. Which, for all I know, it might be perfectly fine at driving at normal speeds in that rev range. I'm not driving it at normal speeds, so I wouldn't even know. Oh, am I miles ahead of that other guy now? Is he like tails? Is he like miles per hour away from me? Thunk. Driving. It's a good experience for all parties involved. Zoom. Yeah, I don't know. If anybody is A, actually watching this as opposed to just listening to it, and B, while doing that they've been paying really close attention to all the dots on the map, they can tell me for sure, but I'm under the impression that if I am way far ahead of everybody of the second place guy in that RX-7, it is because he probably stopped for tires a little after I passed him. Would not surprise me. That would seem to be in line with his potential tire strategy. Whoa! I almost got absorbed into another world. Gotta be careful being absorbed into another world, folks. I don't know what would have happened if I had been. Do you know what would have happened if I were absorbed into another world? And if so, could you tell me? Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things life is showing you? Alright, once again, that little niche there, just not my niche in life. It's just not, folks. Didn't go that well for me. But yeah, I'm hoping this recording takes. I haven't actually, I've mentioned it probably on the channel or in my LP of AeroBiz, which suddenly got thrown up and completed in between the time that I finished the last enduro and started this one here. But I've been having trouble with my recorder. Well, I've been having trouble with my console recording setup. Aside from the fact that I'm playing this on a PS3 that is being output using composite video, because that's the pickups that I have for my console recorder. Of course, apparently I'm learning now, because I was actually thinking about buying a new computer. PS3 has an HDMI output, which is fine for playing. You can hook it up to a TV and play on HDMI just fine. You you try and plug that into a recorder, it will not work because of the special protections that Sony has taken to prevent you from copying Blu-rays using the technology of capture devices and such. So PS3s in particular blocked. You could plug in an Xbox 360 via HDMI to a bunch of these new crazy HDMI recorders, and it will work just fine. I guess because the interesting bit of that generation of console wars, Xbox 360 versus PS3 versus Wii, we of course went the route of not supporting any other variety of crazy disc reading devices. Like, we're just going to be a game system. Oh, and we'll add Netflix, but shh, don't talk about that. But they weren't like, oh, we're going to back one of the next-gen disc systems. Because at the time... Hold on a moment, folks. I have to pause. Oh, man. Hey, if I need to later, maybe I can use this point as a means to split the video. And if I do, I will have already done it and you won't have noticed. Ha 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 ha. Anyways. Excuse me. But I believe, and I might be misremembering, but I think because PS3 was like, we're going to do Blu-ray, because Blu-ray was Sony's baby. It was Sony's whole, like, yeah, this is going to be our new format of the future. And there was still a format war. In addition to the console war that was going on at the time, there was a format war among the next generation of disc media. Blu-ray and HD DVD. And am I right in remembering that the original Xbox 360s would play HD DVDs? I may be wrong, I don't have one. But I thought that was one of the things. And I guess since, you know, that format got abandoned, that was the only way they were going to be able to play extra fancy movies on it. They didn't try and put any crazy special protections on the recording the output of it, the HDMI output from an Xbox 360. Sony did, because they're like, we're protecting our investment. So unless I can find a way around that, I don't know what I'm going to do for my next console recording setup. That was my big project for after Christmas. Setting up a new computer and getting a new capture card. And, you know, apparently there are ways, and there are, like, devices that you can route various things through and stuff like that. Part of the issue that I'm having is one particular capture card looked really cool. That it had a built-in hardware encoder and would do all this stuff, and it could also record your screen, and there'd be, like, you know, very little CPU drain and all the rest of this sort of stuff. Would not occupy system resources while it was recording, because that was already being taken care of using the card's own hardware. But it only takes HDMI input, which PS3 won't do. And the other consoles that I have are, I got my Retro Duo, I got my GameCube, complete with Game Boy player, for playing GameCube games, or Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, and Game Boy Color games. And, although I don't think I've actually gotten around yet, I purchased it a while back, I don't think I've gotten around to publishing any LPs using it yet, but I bought a Genesis. I figured it's been long enough. I never had one as a kid. I'll get one now. There was a guy that appeared to be a game collector. He was putting up parts of his collection on Craigslist because he was moving. And it wasn't as though he had multiple Genesis. As a matter of, and actually the thing that drew my attention to it was he was selling a Sega XI, which was a very specific type of Sega Genesis Sega CD combo unit. It was a little bit like I don't know if you remember the Sega CD-X, which was a Genesis console. It almost looked like sort of like a Discman on steroids or something, like a really thick, chunky, big Discman. But it was a Sega CD and a Sega Genesis built into one like unit. The XI was similar, although it was shaped more like a conventional console, and less like a Discman. And it was made by JVC. It wasn't made by Sega. And he was selling that, and so I got in touch. Like I emailed him about that because I'm like, that would be really cool. In part because there's actually a Sega CD game that Red was thinking we really ought to do an LP of. Cause she had a Sega CD as a kid. I never knew that. Well, I mean, I've known that for like a year or more now, but you know, I've known her for years, and I didn't realize until, you know, recently, in terms of overall lengthy friendship, that she owned a Sega CD when she was younger, or that her family had one. But either way, I was like, oh, and that would solve the problem of being able to play that Sega CD game. Because you can emulate that. I know she still has the disc. You can emulate those, but emulation is never quite right, especially with old games and like CD add-on and things like that, when you're working with ISOs and stuff, or, you know, trying to fake what the disk drive is to read off of and things. It's not good. The emulators will get confused. I mean, it's better to just play off a console if you can. Not even talking about like, oh, for picture quality or whatever. I'm just talking about like, you know, it is less likely that an emulator, it's less likely that the console itself will freeze, although they do glitch out, you know, old consoles. But like, you know, because the emulator doesn't know where to look for the next cinema or something like that. Man, I got off on a crazy tangent. Right, but like I have, and all three of those take composite, you know, video output. They don't have a high def out. They don't have a component out. There's no special. Like the Retro Duo has an S-video output for Super Nintendo gameplay. The regular Nintendo always goes through composite. But either way, you're not talking about extra fancy stuff. I just want to be able to do it using maybe something that has a better encoder and newer, better software and hardware than what I'm doing right now. Like, I understand capturing the gameplay of like Super Mario Brothers or something like that in 1080i. Like, yeah, the actual native resolution of Super Mario Brothers is far less than that, so what are you really getting out of that? I'm sure that if there were especially interested AV people, they would probably be able to tell me right now. How about to win this endurance race, and I'm talking about recording console setups? I mean, you can tell now that I'm sort of relaxed and I believe that I'm in good shape to win the race, because I'm willing to sort of talk a little more rather than just be like, oh, I spent more time scraping up against the wall in this turn than I really wanted to. Oh no. But yeah. But the console, but that's like, so, like, the device that I would have liked, the capture card, only records in HDMI, and at the moment I have 0 devices that would be able to hook up to it. I mean, you could get one of those, like, upscaler devices, and I could plug in my consoles to that, but that's another, like, Depending on the quality of the one that you want, those can cost several $100s by themselves. Upscalers. So yeah, there's all that. So I might have to find a different card and give up on the dream of having a card that will take care of my console recording and my the computer itself recording all in one. Which, considering I was planning on sinking, you know, a bunch of money into a new computer, I was hoping I would be able to get a card, like the perfect card that would, you know, deal with all of my needs, but maybe not. But, as it is, this may well be one of the last, if not the last, depending on whenever I end up getting around to trying to finish Tenchu. This may be one of the last recordings that you ever see off of this console. This and the Legend of Dragoon videos that I've also recorded at this moment. No, 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 no. Get moving, get moving, get moving! There's another guy that's not far behind me. I don't know if he's the second place guy or if he's a lap car. I don't want to find out. Oh, my tires are gone. They're shot. You only have to get me through 2 more turns, guys. Alright, let's do it. Let's finish it. Finish him. Yes! Oh, thank God I've won all of the races. All the races except the final, you know, ultimate tournament thingy. Now, was that RX-7 the car that was right behind me? Doesn't look like it. Okay, I guess I was safer than I thought. I'm not gonna watch the replay. If you guys want to watch the replay, here's a little hint. Scale back to near the beginning of the video. Alright, it's 25 seconds ahead of... Oh my god, it's accelerating and amazing! Oh, there we go. First place, 150 grand. I have $1 million! I can get the millionaire ending now. I just need to get married and have 2 children or whatever. The true love ending and, like, get all the girls to have multiple hearts or something. I don't friggin' know. I never had the patience to play through that game. And now it has officially come to the point where I realize I don't have the patience to watch somebody's LP of it. I was watching an LP of it lately, and, yeah, I just sort of, after all, I'm like, no, stop it. Anyhow, let's continue. Why is the screen black for so long? Okay, there we go. So I won that GTO. Actually, let me go home. Let me go to my garage. GTO twin turbo. Okay, it has 930 horsepower. I was not noticing something or another about it. Nismo GTR LM. Huh. 311 horsepower. Is this a racing car? Or is this a normal car? Spec. Next. It has no fitted parts. Interesting. White spec. Okay. I don't know what this car's deal is. Would this have been a really good car to have entered in this race? If so, why did I have to win the race to get it? No! The mysteries of the universe, folks. The mystery of the desert. Anyhow, folks, I'm going to save this game. I'm going to save the heck out of this game. Oh, man, you don't even know. I do want to save. But yeah, this and the final tournament, if I end up running the final tournament here, maybe the last events, the last videos I end up recording using this my current console recording setup. So if you like the way this looks, treasure these memories. But you probably don't like the way these look, because the whole reason I'm upgrading them is because the pictures aren't always that great. Anyhow, though, I'm getting miles ahead of whatever I was actually meaning to talk about. So, the save has been completed successfully. So I Finished the enduro. It's good times. Nah, gonna have good time. Anyhow, folks, this is Bobo the Vulture. This is Let's Play Gran Turismo. And there's only one thing left, folks. And that is the Gran Turismo World Cup. The ultimate final international super tournament thingy. That might take a while. Thanks very much for watching, folks. I'll see you then. Bye now.